Well, hello everybody, welcome to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C and we have some breaking news coming from the Middle East. The Iranian regime is continuing to fall apart, especially after last night's airstrike by the US Air Force, a massively successful Operation Midnight Hammer by President Donald Trump. We are seeing the final countdown as the Israeli Defense Forces are now accelerating their operation. We have a lot of videos for you guys in this live stream to show you from inside Iran, but also we are waiting for the retaliation from the Islamic Republic. They have already launched a number of missiles towards Israel. A lot of damage has been caused, but in the meantime, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the Prime Minister of Britain has clearly lost his mind because he wants to get involved. Nobody asked him. Nobody asked Britain to get involved. Nobody asked Britain to come and defend the United States. The US can look after itself. We're going to explain why Starmer is getting ready. But 1,090,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday, the 22nd of June, which means we only have literally a few hours left. I did say that earlier this morning. Few hours left to join 2CTV Plus with our special discount code 1 million. You will get 50% off annual subscriptions of 2CTV Plus. So you can only do it by directly going on 2c.tv, our website and platform. And of course, after you do that, don't forget to also download the 2CTV app, and you can use the login details on the website to join. We had some issues with the chat forum on the app. We fixed that now. You can join the chat forum, you get access to the documentaries and everything else. All right, first things first, the Israeli Air Force fighter jets have been attacking, across the country in Iran over the last few hours. They've also just started hitting the capital once again. But the first video we have is from the southern parts of Iran and Bushehr. All these massively, huge factories and weapon depots in the southwestern parts of the country have now been destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, we literally just received the confirmation, breaking news, that the Islamic Republic of Iran have decided, the Iranian parliament have now approved the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which is near the Persian Gulf, a very major, crucial area for global commerce. They're now going to be closing that, which means, of course, everybody in the region is going to get angry. The Arab world, UAE, of course, the United States and many other global shipping companies. So that's going to kick off. I love how this is the major retaliation that they were talking about. The Israelis have been helping by destroying the naval bases in the south anyway, to prevent any major disruption. But there are some videos also coming from the capital in Tehran. There's a lot of them are short videos. Let's see what sort of damage we are seeing in Tehran. Yes, the counter-terrorism operation in Iran continues. There was also retaliation by the Islamic Republic earlier today. They did launch a number of missiles towards the state of Israel. A number of cities have been hit, from Tel Aviv to Haifa. The first video we have is actually the damages in Haifa. Once again, residential areas have been directly targeted by the Iranian regime. This is the final desperation.
على مماد واي ارتل الخا بكيوسك של ג'וקר הלך על הרצל على ממ"ד וואי איזה מאזן נס משמיים ואנחנו פה בוא תראה פה בהרצל
So that was Haifa, which is a home to a huge population of Muslim Arabs in Israel, and all these civilians have once again been hit by the Iranian regime. Now, of course, last night, 2CTV was one of the first, if not the first, new media outlets that brought you guys the breaking news about the Operation Midnight Hammer, which was the United States Air Force successfully going into the Iran and destroying the 3 nuclear facilities. Of course, the Iranian regime have been going around today saying nothing's happened, everything's fine, they've just hit one of the doors and everything's okay. And of course, they have to say that as usual, and the media are just believing whatever comes out of Iran. But obviously, we did the breaking news, but we didn't have time to wait for the president's speech. The president came out a couple of hours later, alongside the rest of the leadership, to tell us exactly what went down. Let's quickly go to that. It's a couple of minutes. Then we're going to show you what Keir Starmer is doing, the Prime Minister of Britain, unnecessarily getting himself involved, even though nobody asked. And I'm going to explain why he thinks it's a good idea to get involved, and why it is also stupid to suggest that the United Kingdom should get involved with the war in Iran. Let's go to the president.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So, of course, President Trump said you need to now stand down, otherwise we're going to fight again. And let's not forget there are many other targets. And Fordow facility is a major facility on the ground. A lot of it has been damaged, but it's not completely been destroyed. So it is important to know that the Americans could go back any moment, although they have caused enough damage for the Israelis to now continue that operation when it comes to Fordo. Although it's going to be very difficult for them to rebuild Fordo anyway, even if it's not completely destroyed. Prime Minister Netanyahu also came out with a short reaction to what happened, and he thanked the President of the United States. Then we're going to go to that idiot, Keir Starmer.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Absolutely agree. I've just received, there's another comment about the chat forum on the app. We have updated the app now, especially Gabby, if you're watching this, you can now go on the app and click on the chat forum and you can join directly, although I've just received your email as well, so we're going to send you the direct link to the chat forum from there. Keir Starmer, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, is getting involved for absolutely no reason. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has said that the Iranian regime should now give up the fight and basically make some sort of a deal and have no nuclear. But the British troops are on standby, and the British government says any attack on the US bases in the Middle East will be considered an attack on a NATO ally, which means that, of course, Britain will take action. It's extremely unnecessary. Let me explain what the point of this was supposed to be. The point of the NATO alliance. Now, you could say a lot about NATO in general, the history of NATO, what is done right, what is done wrong, everything. I don't care about that. But on paper, the principle of NATO was supposed to be, you got a couple of major countries, mostly led by the United States because it's the largest and most successful army in the world, to say, okay, we're going to have this alliance. If this smaller country join us, a weak underdog country join us, because the evil countries are going to attack them, whatever, then we can now go and help them. That was the point of it, okay? The principle on paper. Not necessarily the smaller countries to come and say, oh, the big successful country is getting attacked. Oh, they definitely can't look after themselves, so we're going to have to get involved. No. That's not the point of the United Kingdom does not have the capacity to even stop a random small riot in a small city in England. You cannot, and there's no point in getting Britain involved to go and somehow take revenge if the US bases are attacked. Number one, the US bases are controlled by a group of professional personnel of the armed forces of the United States. They know exactly how to look after themselves, and they have a plan to hit back. The United Kingdom can't do anything. Stay out of it. It's none of your business. Stop trying to upstage the president and Israel. It's not your fight right now. Anyway, the issue that we got Israel and the Islamic Republic. That fight is about the IRGC. Israel has a problem with the IRGC because they've been attacking them since 1979. The problem that President Trump has with Iran is nuclear. That's a different thing. President Trump and the United States, they're not pushing for regime change. That is a whole different fight. What is Keir Starmer's fight here? What's the point here? Keir Starmer and the British government, that continue to support the IRGC. They're not against IRGC. So what do you want to do here? And the United Kingdom doesn't seem to be having a big problem with Iran having nuclear. So what is the point? Just to support your ally? The United States doesn't need your support. Stay out of it. Anyway, meanwhile, in Israel, we are seeing billboards in Tel Aviv, in the main highways, saying, thank you, Mr. President. Of course, being extremely grateful for the Operation Midnight Hammer. These are the feeds coming from Tel Aviv in Israel. Now, of course, the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, whose team that's been working with the White House and, of course, Netanyahu in Israel, is now pushing for regime change, pushing for the revolution. He's the leader of the opposition. He also posted this statement. The strikes on the Islamic Republic's 3 nuclear sites are the result of the regime's catastrophic pursuit of nuclear weapons at the expense of the Iranian people. Ali Khamenei and his crumbling terrorist regime have failed the nation. As Khamenei considers how to respond from his underground bunker, I say to him, for the sake of the Iranian people, respond by stepping down so the proud Iranian nation can leave the disastrous period of the Islamic Republic behind and start a new chapter of peace, prosperity, and greatness. The only sure way to achieve peace is for this regime to now end. And of course, Reza Pahlavi continues his campaign to push for freedom and democracy to return to his homeland. Meanwhile, we have some more videos for you guys that's coming in from inside the country in Iran as the Israeli Defense Forces continue their counter-terrorism operation. Yazd is now being massively hammered by the fighter jets. Let's quickly go and see what's going on in Yazd. A lot of the IRGC bases are on the outside and in the mountains. So we have an interesting comment from the pro-Starmer supporters. This is fascinating. So Benny says, Iran is our fight. It very much is. Well, I agree. But look at this. Iran gets a nuke. You think they won't use it on the US? Think again. But that's not the British government's position, Benny. Now, you can support Keir Starmer if you want to, but Keir Starmer is not having a problem with saying we're going to stop Iran from having nuke. No. Keir Starmer says if a US base is targeted a little bit, and of course the US base will be able to defend itself easily. Keir Starmer just getting involved for no reason, saying, "Oh no, we're not going to go attack Iranian nuke." No. They're not going to do what Benny wants. They're just going to say, "Oh, you hit the US base. Oh, we have to hit one of your bases." The United States could look after themselves. If the fight was to get NATO or the whole world or the United Nations to go in and dismantle the Iranian regime's nuclear program, and yes, I agree, let's do that. But that's not what's happening. The UN doesn't want that, NATO doesn't want that, apart from America, and the British government doesn't want that. So that's not what's happening, Benny. Starmer is just talking nonsense, trying to upstage everybody else, saying, I also matter. No, you don't matter. Anyway, we have the latest update from the Israeli Air Force as well. They have now struck 2 Iranian F-5 fighter jets at the Desful airport. They continue to take out more of the obviously the fighter jets, as well as the air defense system and also the ballistic missile launchers. We're going to talk about actually the ballistic missile launchers because that's kind of been kicking off. The Iranian regime don't have many left. A few days ago, they had about 100 left. So at this point, a few dozens have now been destroyed again by the IDF. We'll find out how many days they will have left until they stop launching missiles. The next video is from Tabriz in the northwestern part of the country. The IRGC targets are being hammered once again. Let's go to Tabriz. Yeah, absolutely crazy scenes coming from Iran. Now, 20 Israeli fighter jets earlier on attacked many of the IRGC bases, missile launchers, the airports and everything else that they've had. They've revealed that over the last 24 hours, a number of F-5 fighters, as we said, have been destroyed. A number of the ballistic missile launchers have been destroyed. And these videos are the evidence from the IDF showing their successful operation. And of course, going forward, as the Americans have been focusing on the nuclear sites, the Israelis could completely focus on the actual IRGC bases, the government sites, the military sites, and the air defense systems and everything else until they stop hiding and running away. Anyway, we also have the update that the Israelis did manage to successfully attack the main military bases in Bushehr and Damband as well. In the southern parts of Iran, a lot of the operation has moved towards there, but the Israelis are refusing to give up control of the capital because they have control of the skies in Tehran, and they're still flying over freely and nobody can do anything about it. So absolutely fascinating stuff by the Israeli Air Force. Now, as we said, we did have now this confirmation that the Iranian parliament, the plastic parliament, fake parliament, have now confirmed that Strait of Hormuz near Persian Gulf will be closed. They are once again effing around. They clearly want to find out. All right, let's get reaction from the live chat, and then of course members of 2CTV Plus. Starmer will bring Greta. Well, yeah, then of course the Islamic Republic will completely give up. MT says, no thanks, your planes have paint in the engine. I'm pretty sure they fixed that now. That was a mess by Palestine action. Don't need Starmer cocking it up, that's true. It's just unnecessary. Love to you, Maya. Love to your dad and all the beautiful Iranians, and may God bless you all. Thank you, Van der Forks. There's a couple of other comments from Mark. And Starmer projects soft power. I just stepped on it and I need to clean my boots. That's a good one. I like that. Trump got Israel to fight America's war. Wow. How? Well, no, they both have different fights right now. It's two different battles at the same time. America is worried about the threat of the IRGC worldwide, especially when it comes to nuclear. Israel is just worried about the whole existence of the IRGC, considering they're basically next door. Doesn't really help. Starmer spent a lot of time in communist Czechoslovakia. How did he ever get elected? Come on, English, wake the F up. By the way, that dude Shah needs to step up and rally the troops. He's already doing it. He's literally doing his job as the leader of the opposition. He can't really do much more. He's rallying the troops. They're also giving out these leaflets, pamphlets in Iran. Let me just show you, put it on screen for you. This is quite interesting because part of the messaging, this is the same tactic, by the way. Oh, nope. Same tactic that was used in previous uprisings in different countries as well. You need to give away, I mean, back then you definitely need to use actual leaflets and pamphlets, but now you can do it online. But it's still important considering that the internet in Iran continues to get shut down by the Iranian regime. They don't want anything to come out. And those who have access to Starlink, thanks to Elon, they can give out videos and messages. But these are the pamphlets that's now been shared in Iran, of course in Persian and in English, saying to the armed forces of Iran. The regime is collapsing. Now is the time for the national unity. Stand with the people for a free Iran. Of course, we've already had a number of defections from the military, the actual army against the IRGC, and they have been in touch apparently with the Crown Prince's team to plan the next step. Again, they have to wait for the IDF to continue their operation for now because they are bombing the cities. It's difficult to come out on the street right now. And then once things calm down, they could come out. Of course, the moment the supreme leader somehow dies or gets caught or flees, then it's over. That's it. The whole regime is revolving around him as a figurehead. Sholin says, remind Starmer that the country that he's supposed to protect is being overrun by the same type of people who are currently occupying and running Iran. This is a very good point. If Keir Starmer and the British government want to help, the best thing they can do is to arrest and deport every single member and supporter of the IRGC and other Islamist proxies. Get them out of the country. You guys let them in. You didn't even vet their backgrounds, and now you're in this mess. The problem for Britain is not necessarily just in the Middle East. The problem for the British government is that they are on the streets of the United Kingdom. Fix your problems at home first, and then you could look after others. Wouldn't you want as much help as possible against the regime? No, absolutely not. Because, as I said, the Keir Starmer's position is that, oh, if the US base gets attacked, oh, the United States is so weak and feeble that we need to send the British to send one tiny missile towards an Iranian regime base. What's that going to do? It's just unnecessary. And you're just wasting more taxpayers' money from Britain anyway, and you're just making a big gamble. As I said, if the operation was supposed to be the EU, the UN, NATO, everybody proactively saying we are going to go in and dismantle the Iranian regime nuclear facilities. And I said, fine, that's a good idea. Do that. Unity, everybody together. But that's not what the British government is saying. They're not going to get involved with the conflict to dismantle the nuclear facilities. They think, Keir Starmer says, that the United States is weak and we have to go and help our weak partner. No, the United States doesn't need help. You are the weak partner compared to the US Army. And they don't get it. As I said, the point of the NATO alliance was for the big partners in NATO to defend the smaller ones because they can't look after themselves. It's not supposed to be for the smaller ones to help the bigger ones. It's just stupid. The UK is more Operation Lord Hammer. It's illegal. That's the Attorney General of Keir Starmer's government, by the way. He's an absolute nutter. Peter says, are you going to play the press conference at the DOD that took place this morning? No, because the mainstream media has already covered that. Of course, you can go watch that. Thomas says, also it's on YouTube as well. Many others have posted that. We will talk about what was said, by the way. We will cover that later on. Which has been basically what we've already discussed. Not much new information, but we will cover that, especially what Pete Hegseth was saying about the next step. Pub named Lionheart Tavern, pub with King Richard's 3 Lions COA on your shingle. A great king who never made it home. I would sink a pint there. Thank you, Thomas. The Crown Prince is a leftist. He's not. How? He's literally a pro-free market, pro-free speech. Do you not know the family? He has spent the last decades hanging out with the Clintons. Oh my God, you're an idiot. Would be sad to see Iran to go through all of this and become a progressive homeland. He's literally trying his best and his team to fight against the actual left-wing opposition, and this is not real opposition. I'm talking about the MEK. It's a bunch of Marxist Islamists who hate the IRGC because they want their own version of a terrorist organization to be in charge, and they could continue to promote socialist nonsense. And the Iranian people don't do socialism. They're like, what on earth is this? Just leave us alone. Of course, the Crown Prince, as a free marketeer and someone who believes in the market economy and freedom and free speech, he's been fighting against that. Why on earth would he somehow promote socialism? That would be weird. Anyway, Nikki, thank you. Now the UK and US are going to have to deal with the enemy. Well, firstly, the UK is, they can say a lot. They're not going to do anything. The Keir Starmer says this. I can assure you, in the next few days, few weeks, well, what are they going to do? They might move some of the British vessels, try to open up the Strait of Hormuz. That's it. They're not going to send troops. Also, in case those who've been listening to the crazy weirdos like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and all the others, see, President Trump confirmed that you need to calm down and take a chill pill because American troops did not put boots on the ground. This is not Iraq 2003. There's no need for that. So everything is fine. No World War III. I'm thinking Starmer's move is a deluded attempt to suck America back into the Ukraine. Well, I think, to be fair, most of the strategy is to kind of scratch your back, scratch my back sort of situation, to stay close to America, saying, hey, don't worry, I know you have a problem with the EU, we're not in the EU, we're different, while at the same time also hanging out with Emmanuel Macron. So I think, yeah, Starmer's trying to keep both sides happy, EU and the US. With little sleep and no haircut, you're starting to look like Churchill A. Actually, no, to be fair, this is, somebody said I look like, I think Marge Simpson's. I woke up, it was completely up like a pineapple. But from Ancient Aliens, yeah. No, that's going to go. Tomorrow's the day. I'm going to get this hair sorted. It's a bit of a mess. All right, British Airways, we have an update. British Airways have now suspended their flights to Dubai and Qatar. Following the escalation. So British Airways are no longer going to be going to those areas. Starmer still has an arms embargo against Israel. Sit down and play with your bone. Yes, I know. Starmer didn't say anything about defending Israel, by the way. Yeah. A video game controller jumps up and downs excitedly. Oh dear. Anyway, what is going on? Let's see what we have. That's the weakest bit. Pub name, Midnight Hammered. Midnight Hammered. That's a good one for a pub name. Woke up last night and found that the IRGC just shot 6 of B2 vitamins. They didn't go too well. Without getting into the rights and wrongs, is it possible if a regime change takes place, could they ban a certain religion from politics? Well, no, that's part of the pre-written constitution for the Iranian people, led by the Crown Prince. That's literally their plan. Their plan is to completely separate Islam and politics, religion and politics, and to have a complete separation of church and state, basically, and secularism. So that's the only way that Iran can become a normal country. The UK can come and make our sandwiches in the US bases. just get Starmer to do it. No, we do not need help from the Timmy Starmer's regime. We just sanctioned 2 of our government ministers. This is not how allies treat each other. I absolutely agree, Enoch. Pub name 3 Lions. No Brits allowed. Some, even in the US, listen to the UK still as support. Starmer to supply the US with 2 Rolls-Royce engines filled with red paint. The jokes about the paint is going to continue for a while. Haircut. Yes, they need that. The UK was a great warrior for the West, so in theory, yes, thanks for the help. Unfortunately, her Starmer is no Churchill, so no please, not now. But that's the problem. I have no faith in Starmer's leadership. Look, him leading it? No. Get away. Get out of this. It's all gimmicky. We don't trust you. Alex says, what exactly is it that Tucker is saying that you find so unreasonable? Do I really have to go through it again every single time? Oh my God. Everything that Tucker has said, especially about what was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, last week, a few days ago, and last night and today, has all been wrong. He doesn't know anything about Iran. He doesn't know anything about the history of the conflict. He's got all these updates from his days at the CNN and his school of journalism and all the books in schools and universities, and think that, oh well, I know everything now. The Shah is bad, blah blah blah. America is bad, Israel is bad, and the Islamic Republic is good. It's just insane. I can have a debate with him if he wants to, and. But of course, he's not going to be too happy about that. He's going to do his weird laugh. All right. This is big. Let's make it smaller. There's a meme here. We call this man Daddy. Other than my wife, he's the only man I'm scared of. All right, so these are the members of 2CTV Plus. This is our chat forum. Let's get some reaction. Willpower says, where are all the IRGC personnel and weapons coming from? Well, Iran. I thought that the IDF had pretty much cleared them all out. You do realize how big Iran is, right? It's massive. It's one of the biggest countries. So even Gaza, which is smaller than my living room, it takes a while. So with Iran, with all the mountains, with all the bunkers, with all the bases, they have a lot of weapons. They've got a lot of things that you need to go wipe out. They've still got so many IRGC bases they need to sort out. All right, also Maya, you said you couldn't show Big Don's announcement due to copyright, but I watched it live on Cruise. Yeah, also we showed it to you guys today, because we had to check to ensure that the copyright is dealt with our legal team, and then show it. Excellent, the photo is gone, and now you can get your haircut. It's all good. Get your haircut. When will the Iranian people and military that has sworn allegiance to Crown Prince start rising up and fighting their country before they miss their opportunity? When the IDF stop bombing the cities, of course. They can't come on the streets when they're being bombed. That's not safe. The IDF have told them to stay away for now and then come out. I pray for the Iranian people. Yes, I do too. Obviously, the people of Israel and the US too. Yep. The Viking says this will cause Islamist terror cells in the UK to start attacks against the British people. Well, more attacks than normal. Yeah, I agree. Crystal Dragon says there was a rumor that there was green gas coming out of an Iranian missile that hit near Ramallah. Can you look into this? I can double check. We know they were using cluster bombs, but don't know anything about green gas. I think the missile just farted, probably. How's Ami doing in Tehran? My dad is alive. I found my dad. He's fine. He's hiding. He's in a bunker as well, staying away from the IRGC. Anyway, Starmer wants part of the glory that Israel and the US are going to get, but Starmer is also afraid of the Islamic vote in the UK. The only good thing for him is that Shia and Sunni are not the best of friends, and he has the majority Sunni Muslims in the UK. This is the point. So the Sunnis are going to be happy that the IRGC goes, because the IRGC have caused a lot of problems for the Sunnis and vice versa, and most of the Muslims in Britain are Sunni. So I'm so glad that Trump ended with a threat. He didn't just take the win. I believe he was also sending a message to China and Russia. But he's already told both of them to stay away anyway. And they both said, okay, fine. We're just going to release the condemnation statement, but that's it. There was no way that Russia was going to get involved with this anyway. They got bigger problems than that. He's going to have to fix all the equipment damaged by the pro-parasite thugs that he has allowed to bully the country every weekend before he joins into the war. Oh yes, Starmer. What is this? With Tehran in flames, now is the time to crack down on jihadism at home. Well, yeah, that will help if Starmer does that, but he's not doing it. Love 2CTV. Everyone should join. Maya, you should get a FLP to cut your hair. Yeah, I know. Tomorrow. What a question in the survey. Has Starmer lost his mind? To lose one's mind requires a brain. True. This guy's so unbelievably embarrassing. He wants to join in when the main action is over. Probably scared that the UK will get kicked out of the Five Eyes. I know. But the UK won't get kicked out. But yes, I know what you mean. Starmer should learn how to secure the border in the UK before he goes to fight in Iran. Yes, I guess it's better than saying the UK won't help. Well, yeah, I mean, it's technically better than saying the UK won't help. But all Starmer needs to say is we support our allies. We are backing Israel and the US in their operation, but that's it. Just shut up. Stay away. Nobody asks your opinion. All right, so there's a couple of super chats I missed. There's a few actually I missed. What's happening? Got Alan saying, let's talk about the West's weaponization of an ideology. Cool, let's do that. Which one? There's a lot of ideologies. Peter says that when will the BBC Line News and the mainstream media surrender to 2CTV? Well, they've already surrendered their viewers. We continue to get more views and the channel continues to grow. 1,090,000. Come on, guys. Christine says, any worry about nuclear fallout with bombing uranium and new beginnings in the Persian for your... So, yes, we now have the confirmation from the agencies that there was no radioactive leakage from the nuclear facilities. So, everything's fine. They moved some of their stuff out anyway beforehand. Though the fight for true freedom constantly exists within my own nation of the US, I wish the Iranian people can form a nation of freedom and liberty forever. We are all due a tyranny-free life. Absolutely agree. Freedom and life for everybody on this planet. Mossad could simply appoint Ayatollahs Surli Zaini. What? Mossad are busy doing other things in Iran right now. Tucker and Piers are the impartial commentators that Maya rightly does not want to be. The bleeding hearts of yes, but Israel. Yeah. Well, to be fair, at least Tucker and Candace don't claim to be impartial, so that's good. It's like me. I'm open about my bias. I'm objective. I show you all sides of stories and give you guys the facts, but you know my leanings, you know my bias, and you know my opinion. The problem with Piers Morgan is that I'm not really sure why he exists. Like, what is the point? His show is just for drama. It's just for people shouting at each other, get the clips, post it on social media, get the likes. Oh, look at all these people fighting on live TV. It's not even TV, obviously, it's online, like 2CTV. But this is the sort of tactics that used to be used on traditional TV. Stop it. It's weird. Move on. So there are a few shorter IRGC glowing green. Farting. Starmer still has an arrest warrant on BB. Yeah, well, it's the ICC, but Starmer would probably carry that. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do, because Germany said we're not going to follow through. They're supporting Netanyahu. What's going on here? So the Iranian regime are now saying that they are going to be carrying out a surprise operation against Israel while keeping an eye on the US bases in the region. I love how they're just keeping an eye on the US bases. They don't have the balls to attack the US bases yet. And they've been saying there's a surprise attack on Israel coming for the past 2 weeks. Where is the surprise? And the surprise is supposed to be every night. Still waiting for the surprise? Stop saying surprise. Starmer offers his services as T-boy. That would be useful. NATO Article 5 is not in play unless a country within its borders is attacked. Yeah. Not military bases all around our embassies. Stay out, Keir Starmer. Yeah, exactly. The good thing is he didn't actually mention Article 5. He just said we're going to get involved. Starmer wants to gate crash the after party. That's literally what's going on, by the way. America, F yeah. Allah just got a bit smaller. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, only a few hours left to take advantage of our special discount. Use the promo code 1million. You will get 50% off annual memberships of 2C TV Plus. You get access to all the documentaries, uncensored shows, my podcast, and the chat forum. And of course, you can only do it by going directly on 2c.tv or find the link in the description. After that, you can also, don't forget to download the 2C TV app. You can also get access to all the stuff that I said, but also you use the login details from the website. It's the same thing. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.